Never enter a library that opens only at midnight. They say there's a place, hidden from the world, known as the Midnight Library. A library that appears only when the clock strikes 12, shrouded in darkness and whispers of the past. Those who enter are drawn by the allure of its impossible collection, books that hold secrets of lives long forgotten. Rumor has it, each book tells a story of a soul trapped within its pages, waiting to be freed or forever lost. One night, driven by curiosity, Anna, a passionate historian, stumbled upon this mysterious library. As she wandered through the dimly lit aisles, the air grew colder with each step. She pulled a book from the shelf, its cover bound in ancient leather. Inside, she found the tale of a woman eerily similar to herself, a mirror to her own life. The more she read, the more the lines between past and present blurred. Suddenly, the pages turned on their own, revealing a final chilling sentence. And then she vanished, never to be seen again. Heart pounding, Anna dropped the book and fled. But as she reached the exit, the librarian's voice echoed behind her, "The library chooses its stories." The door slammed shut, leaving only silence. Was it chance or fate that led her there? Would you have opened that book? Never drink from the old fountain. That's what the townsfolk whispered every time someone new arrived in the tiny village. The fountain, nestled in the heart of the town square, had been there for centuries, its weathered stone carving staring back at those who dared approach. Legend had it that the fountain was a gift from a mysterious traveler long ago, and with it came a warning. It grants a wish, but only at a terrible price. One winter night, a curious child, daring to defy the warnings, tossed a coin and whispered a wish. The next morning, she was gone, her parents left with nothing but the echoes of her laughter. Murmurs spread quickly, the fountain had claimed another soul. Days turned to weeks and then months, but the mystery of the missing child remained unsolved, her wish a secret lost to the depths. Some claimed they heard her voice at night, mingling with the sounds of the water. As another generation grew up, the story faded. Yet the fountain stood, silently watching, waiting. Would anyone dare to make a wish again? If they did, what would they discover about the fountain's dark secret? Would you have the courage to make a wish, knowing the price you might pay? Never accept a game from an unknown opponent, they said. But Alex was intrigued by the dusty, ornate chess set he found at the flea market. It was rumored to be cursed, but he laughed it off. Unbeknownst to him, the previous owner had vanished without a trace. Eager for a partner, Alex set up the board and casually invited a game. As he made his first move, the room chilled, his breath visible in the air. The chessboard seemed to hum with an unsettling energy. The black pieces moved by themselves, responding to Alex's every move, as if an invisible player sat across from him. Halfway through, Alex realized he wasn't alone. Shadows flickered along the walls, whispering his name. Despite his growing unease, he continued, feeling a compulsion he couldn't resist. Each move felt heavier, the consequences more dire. Suddenly, the Black Queen advanced, trapping his king. A cold, hollow laugh echoed through the room. "Checkmate," a voice whispered from nowhere, sending shivers down his spine. Alex's heart raced as he noticed a figure in the mirror, a translucent silhouette with hollow eyes staring back at him. The air grew dense, the room darkened. He tried to leave, but the door wouldn't budge. The board reset itself, and the pieces beckoned for another game. The question lingered. Would Alex try again, or join the missing souls forever? It begins with a whisper, they say, a soft, almost inaudible hum beneath the moonlight. The old carousel, long abandoned at the edge of town, stands silent by day. Locals know to avoid it, for when the clock strikes midnight, the whispers swell into a haunting melody. No one knows who first heard it, but those brave or foolish enough to approach speak of the music drawing you in like a siren's call. Rumors swirl about the carousel horses, their painted eyes seemingly alive, following your every move. One visitor claimed the air around the carousel grows thick and cold, as if the spirits of past riders linger, forever bound to its spinning enchantment. But here's the chilling part. Once you step onto the platform, the music stops. A deafening silence envelops you, and the horses stand still, waiting. Some nights, they say, you can hear the echo of laughter, a child's giggle, or a whispered name. Yet as dawn approaches, the melody dissipates, leaving no trace of the night's allure. Those who've ridden the mysterious carousel rarely speak of their experience, and some have never returned to reveal the secrets it hides. So, would you dare to take a step closer when the clock strikes midnight? Would you ride into the unknown, risking the pull of an endless night? Never peer into the mirror under the full moon. They said it could reveal a world beyond our own. Intrigued by the tales of the enchanted mirror, Sarah found herself alone in the dimly lit attic, where the ancient mirror awaited. It was said that anyone who dared to gaze into its depths on a night like this would glimpse an alternate reality. Driven by curiosity, Sarah lit a single candle, its flickering light dancing across the dusty glass. As her reflection faded, a chilling scene unfurled within the mirror's depths. A world similar, yet disturbingly different from her own. Her alternate self walked the same streets, but shadows seemed to cling to her every step. Suddenly, a figure appeared behind her reflection, a dark silhouette with eyes that glowed with malevolence. Sarah gasped, stumbling backward, her heartbeat echoing in her ears. The room grew colder as the figure's hand reached out, attempting to breach the surface. In a frantic panic, she turned away, heart racing, the mirror's surface rippling like disturbed water. She knew the stories warned of a terrible price for such a glimpse, a price she might soon pay. As the candle flickered out, a whisper lingered in the dark. Would you dare look again? Never set an extra place at dinner. It started innocently enough, an overlooked chair randomly set at the head of the table. Just a bit of absent-mindedness, or so they thought. But the night Dan and his family sat down to dinner, an unsettling chill filled the room. They shrugged it off, blaming the open window and the cold February air. Yet the chair seemed to cast a shadow longer and darker than any of them could explain. As they passed around the dishes, a strange creaking echoed from the empty seat. Dan's mother laughed nervously, suggesting it was just the old wood settling. But the jovial air had been replaced by an awkward tension. Then the candle flickered violently, casting haunting shapes across the walls. In the flickering light, the shadow of the chair seemed to shift, almost as if something invisible was moving in it. Sarah, Dan's sister, glanced at the chair, her eyes widening. She whispered, "I saw it rock." Her voice trembled, breaking the strained silence. No one dared to look at the chair again. The rest of the meal was consumed in uneasy quiet, punctuated only by the occasional creak from the empty seat. When they finally left the table, the chair remained, rocking ever so gently. Would you have stayed? Or would you leave that place, abandoning the unseen guest lurking in the shadows? They called it the Amulet of Desires. Legend whispered that it granted 3 wishes, but each gift demanded a sinister price. It was said that whoever possessed it would be cursed with a greedy shadow that exacted a toll more terrible than the wish itself. When Sarah stumbled upon the amulet in her grandmother's attic, she dismissed the warnings as mere superstition. Clutching the ancient piece, she dared to wish for wealth beyond her dreams. That night, her lottery numbers hit, but news soon followed of a tragic accident wiping out her family. Devastated, Sarah realized the amulet's game. Desperate to undo her pain, she made her second wish, to bring her loved ones back. At dawn, they returned, but with vacant eyes and hollow smiles, mere echoes of their former selves. Terrified, Sarah understood the true horror of her wish. Each granted desire twisted into a nightmare. She had one wish left, a final chance to end the torment. But as she whispered her last wish, the amulet glowed an ominous red, and darkness enveloped her. Silence stretched in the shadows, leaving the question hanging in the cold air. What price did she pay this time? Would you dare make a wish, knowing the cost? The amulet waits, eager for its next victim. The legend whispers of a photographer who roams deserted streets, lured by the unknown. They call him the Phantom Photographer, a figure shrouded in mystery and fear. It is said that he appears without warning, his presence felt by a sudden chill in the air. His camera, an antique relic, is his only companion, and it has an eerie ability. It captures not just images, but the deepest, most hidden fears of those who dare to look upon his photographs. One night, Lily, a curious young woman, stumbled upon an abandoned gallery. Drawn by an inexplicable force, she entered. The dimly lit room was lined with photographs, each one more haunting than the last. As she glanced at a peculiar photo of a deserted park, her heart raced. The shadows seemed to move, morphing into a childhood fear she had long buried. Beside her, another photo showed a mirror, yet her reflection was missing, replaced by a shadowy figure. The realization hit her. These photos were not mere art, they were a gateway to her nightmares. Lily fled the gallery, but the images lingered in her mind. Some say the phantom photographer is still out there, capturing fears that bind us all. Do you dare to find him and face what's hidden deep within? Or will the shadows remain a mystery forever?